Yo, this is Brandon Williamson with PRSVR. We're here for another edition of Free Game Thursday. My apologies on last week. We had some technical difficulties or whatever, but I just took a week off. But we right back at it. So this week, I wanted to recap on what I went over last week because I didn't get to finish it. And I feel like it was important, and I feel like y'all should hear it and make sure that it's in your notes and things that you're able to reference as you are going about the journey through the process or whatever. So it was entitled When You're Losing, and the win was spelled W-I-N instead of win as in time because, everyone always says it all the time, and all your losses are your wins. When you lose, that's where you get to learn. And we even reference it and we call it the valley. The valley is not necessarily our most winning opportunity. The valley is like the spot where we remember where we came up with all of our skills. You know what I mean? The valley is where we're down there learning how to fight or working out and lifting the weights in order to fight or doing the research or the studying in order to be ready to fight whatever it is we was trying to fight. So it's the when you're losing. So the first step or first spot that we're going to reference is identifying your deficit. A lot of times we'll just not feel like we're winning, so we'll just automatically feel like we're losing, when in actuality, you may be winning. I think that's a big part of who we are as people, just in identifying what's wrong with us. So often we're asked, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? And it's just the things that go through our heads that kind of look like we have a problem, but we don't. But in identifying the deficit, when we feel like we're losing or battling with loss, we have to isolate that issue. We have to find out exactly what it is that's making us feel as if we're losing. And then see if that loss is really losing. When it comes to identifying the deficit, we were in a rut at one point in Chicago, and we had been told to leave Chicago by our internal clocks, just saying like, man, it may be time to go and try something else. But instead we tried to rebuild it and rebuild the ship and get everything back in charge and go through this process to like rebrand and renew ourselves. When in actuality, we probably should have been gone 6 months ago. You read certain biblical texts and it'll talk about, drying up that land or drying up those opportunities that once presented themselves there because you were supposed to keep going. You weren't supposed to just sit there on Michigan Ave like I was and just be there and be like, this is it. Can't get no better than this. Like, no, I got you there so I can get you there. You know what I mean? We did end up moving to Atlanta and going into Buckhead and doing that whole thing, but we might have been 6 months late. So it's like, whereas we did get there and it was successful for us and we got done what we needed done, could have been even more successful had we listened to those internal messagings and things that we had going. We made that move a little quicker. So identify the deficit. If you're looking at your numbers for the month and you're seeing that you're selling less widgets than you were selling last month, okay, why am I not selling widgets? It might not have anything to do with you. There may be something going on where there's a new product into the market that makes widgets obsolete. Or there may be something going on where people are saying widgets aren't good anymore. At one point, throwback jerseys were the most hot item you could find. They were $400, $600, $800 for a throwback old jersey from some era that you weren't born in. Then Jay-Z was like, no more. So, when we look at that, if you were a store that was selling jerseys and selling 10, 20, 30, 40 jerseys a day, and then they come in and say, okay, it's just button-ups, you can't necessarily look at it like, oh man, we did something wrong. Only thing you might have done wrong in that situation is not being prepared for the ceiling to come down. The floor to bottom out. Like you just always thought it would be good. Like we have to plan and pray for rain. Like rain is both ways. Rain is in, coming down and things changing, and rain as far as our superiority and being able to go forward in our kingly positions. So identifying the deficit. If we're gonna say, okay, I'm losing or I'm at a loss, we need to identify what exactly that means so we can identify it, isolate it, see if we can fix it. Next part, in finding out what that issue is, are you gonna outsource it or are you gonna learn how to do it yourself? Then that's a big part, especially with some of us entrepreneurs who, feel like we can do anything sometimes. Sometimes we feel like, oh, we can draw, we can do a flyer for an event, or we can, do a lot of things. And we can. Don't get me wrong, we can do a lot of things. But can you do all of those things well? I think I can juggle pretty good, but I can't juggle 8 things. If you give me 8 balls to juggle in my hands, like I can't, that's not something that I could say that I'm the best at. You know what I mean? So it's like I would have to go and outsource that. You know what I mean? Like we look at, on our end, Facebook marketing was a big hurdle for us because it wasn't something that we needed when we were successful initially. So when we first came out in 2012, when we were in Chicago and doing all these things and gaining these international and national connections and things of that sort, we wasn't thinking about Facebook marketing because Facebook marketing wasn't there shooting with me in the gym. So we wasn't thinking about it. It wasn't the thing that we needed to go learn or hire someone for or anything. And then the algorithms changed. Once Facebook bought Instagram, that algorithm started to change and point the users towards content that was being paid for, that was being made popular, that was being shown, that was more popular or better based upon their algorithm. So now you have to figure out how to get into their algorithm. And it's just like, could I have studied to do that and just be like, okay, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to learn it and I'm going to focus and I'm going to see what it is and I'm going to really, 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 really see what's to it. Or I can go try it myself and just try until, something sticks to the wall, or I can call somebody. And a lot of times in calling people, like you do have to do extra work in that, but it may get done, and it's just knowing what it is that you're paying for. And understanding, it's a saying that we say all the time, like, sometimes people will offer services to us or tell us how things they'll do, or factories will always tell us all the time that they'll make a bunch of stuff for us and won't charge us until XYZ day. Then it's just like understanding that good work is not free and free work is not good. And you got to think about it. If someone wanted you to do something for free, would you go above and beyond? If you offered to do something for someone for free, would you go above and beyond? Like, is that what you would do? You would look at it like, man, this is a free thing to do and I'm going for it. Depends on where you're at in life. And that's why these things are written down. Me at this point in my life, to do something for free while operating in the gifts that I clearly present, it'd be tough for me to do that for free because I don't have to, but before, when I was first coming into the game, like, oh, I did everything for free. Everything was for free other than the product. But anything that we could do as an appearance, as a mentorship, as anything, it was free. We were getting it done, and that helped us get our name out there. So it's understanding those things. But then it's also that same thing of understanding that nobody can save you, bro. There's not a way that they can know everything about your business coming into it. So you have to understand who it is that you are as an entrepreneur, or as a person, or as a husband, or as a son or a daughter. Do you have the ability to focus in your mind and go get tasks done that may be difficult for you? Or are you best at paying someone or not doing it at all or finding a way? Like, we have to know who we are in these situations as opposed to just going and saying like, all right, fine, I'll try it. Because for a long time, we did try Facebook marketing. We did try to figure it out and we did try to see what was to it and how we could do it and how we could make it better and do all those things. And it didn't work for us. We had to go find somebody. We had to find somebody because every time we would learn something, they would change the rule again. Like, there are specialists out there, but you have to find the one that works and gels with you. So outsourcing versus studying. We have to know which one of those things are going to work best for us. And if we don't have the budget, then studying is going to be best for you. Don't necessarily let someone get in your car, drive your car all around the town, not knowing where they're going. You know what I mean? Because that's what that is by doing something, by allowing someone to work for you that's cheap or that will come free. Like, we have to be careful who we're allowing to drive our cars. Not to say that people that do inexpensive work aren't good, because I understand building up your name and building up your ranks and all those things like that. It's just like we understand the people that are really good charge what they charge for a reason. And all the time that reason is not because they just want to charge you more money. Sometimes it's because they figured out the glow and they're not going to give you the juice for free. So understand those things. Make sure that y'all writing notes and going along as you're listening to the lesson. You know what I mean? That's a big thing that we want to make sure that, you're putting these notes in your phone. You got a pad of paper, something like that, to where you're able to say like, all right, cool. This reminded me of that. Like, what opportunities do you have to outsource versus studying? Are you having an issue with designing? Are you having an issue with manufacturing? Are you having an issue with whatever? Like, identify the deficit that you're dealing with. If you feel like you're not doing well, you're feeling like you're not getting a lot of online sales, okay. First of all, are you getting any online traffic? That would be the first step of getting an online sale. So we have to be able to understand and identify the deficit and then realize, are we going to fix this problem or do we need to bring somebody in to fix it? And do we need to be prepared to pay for that? You know what I mean? So the next thing I want to discuss is prevent losses, but don't report them. A lot of times, especially within my business history and growing up and seeing other entrepreneurs, they would always tell me to report a loss. When it came to taxes and the IRS, they would always consistently say, you want to make sure you report a loss so that you don't owe any money. Most times whenever we're first starting off a business, we're reporting a loss anyway. So it didn't really, of course I'm gonna report a loss. I'm not good at this yet. But as we got good at it, we would still find ways to report that loss. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want to prevent the opportunity to be losing at all. You know what I mean? But if you do, we got to watch how we report that. And the reason for that is because, of course, owing taxes is not an ideal situation that any of us want to be in. But if you make money, you're going to owe taxes. I remember back when Jay-Z was earlier in his career, and he had this article and he was saying like, I fire my accountant every month. Every month I fire him because he's too expensive. But every month after that, I hire him back because I know he's right. It's just a lot of money that you got to pay to some person that didn't do anything. But in that, in properly reporting, in properly saying how much money is made, you're able to show the banks that you're going to need to borrow money from, that you're making money. If you're not showing you're making money, it makes it very difficult for a bank to look at you as someone that will be able to pay them their money back. And those are the things they don't tell us. You know what I mean? Like I went through quite a bit to figure that part out. And it wasn't because I'm slow or, I don't understand math or any of those things. It's just like I was told by reputable business people that were doing different things that could get those things done, that didn't look like me though, but could get those things done. They would report losses and they would come up and they would always be in a good position. They'd be in the newest whatever you could possibly have all the time. But on our end, if we go into the bank talking about I'm at a loss, this thing called COVID might come up. And if you're showing that you didn't make any money, you're not going to get any money. You know what I mean? It's going to be very difficult for them to feel like you would have made this money had COVID not been going on right now. So we have to, prevent the losses from happening for sure. Don't report them like that, though. We don't want to overinflate what we're doing. You know what I mean? Because they can't fund what isn't working. And if we can't show them it's working, we already know. They're not going to just give us the spoon and be like, here's some food. You know what I mean? So the next part, from the mud. You know what I mean? Like people talk about all the time. I get it from the mud. I got mine from the mud. I had to start all the way at the bottom and build it all the way to the top. I got mine from the mud. The money is made on the mountain, but the respect is earned in the valley. You know what I mean? So there's no way to get one without the other. And if you do, you're going to have to come back downstairs. You know what I mean? Like we look at one-hit wonders or someone that may have gotten an opportunity a little quicker than some others. And it's a quick ride up, but it's a slow ride down. Like you look at some of the decline of some of the people that have taken the elevator up and then had to take the stairs down or jump out the window or just they didn't get to go down the same way they came up. And that's based upon them not going through the process to know, okay, this is what I got to do when I'm in this situation. If widgets aren't selling like that, then that means I need to switch over to global commerce. You know what I mean? Like we need to find something else to supplement this widget loss. If you've never been in a situation where you've had to go hustle back or, figure out how to cover a loss or lost some money or lost an opportunity, it's going to be very difficult to understand that. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be very difficult to see how, you can fix that error down the line. Sorry for the phone going off like that. That is my bad. But you got to get it from the mud. And from the mud simply means you did the climb yourself. You have the ability to look at the steps that you made. You left the trail for yourself and for others to follow through. You know what I mean? So the money is made on the mountain, but the respect is earned in the valley. You know what I mean? Which is, again, the pun for persevere because we brand with the valley. As you may know, you'll know. And then the final point, man, it's over when you say it's over. So many times we've thought about quitting and thought about not doing things or thought about like, man, is this ever going to work? Or is this ever going to get better? Is this ever going to be in a position that I want to be in? Or is this ever, we always question ourselves in those situations. You just have to keep going. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could say, well, if I keep going, I'm going to just dig a bigger hole. Maybe, but maybe not. And maybe through digging that hole, you found a tunnel that led you to something else. So often I'll create product and I'll be like, man, this product is amazing. Like, this is just the best thing ever. And then I'll be like, oh, wait, what if I made some boots like that? Or what if I made a bag like that? What if I made a shirt like that? What if I made a hat like in order to go to the next step, you got to do this step. You know what I mean? So it's over when you say it's over. As long as you keep going, Can't nobody say you failed. One time somebody tried to say like, oh, y'all took a break or something like that. We ain't took no break. It's just we might not have been on your radar. We might have understood that we no longer needed to cater to you as a client. Like things change. Things change all the time. There's a lot of distractions and things going on. It's only over when you say it's over. They say the fat lady singing, like, ain't no fat ladies around here singing, bro. So it's like this is always going to continue on as long as you say so. So when you're losing, as in positive, you're losing, you got to be understanding that this is just a temporary thing. And if it's not, be able to pivot. Like there is no wall that you just have to keep running into. But if you run into the wall, don't try the same thing again just to see if that really was the reason why you ran into the wall. Let's look into something else. Let's make a left turn. Let's make a detour. Let's recalibrate, look at the direction we were going in, and then go and see what's up with that wall. You might be able to go through it next time. You never know. You know what I mean? But that's literally what it is, because the higher we go, you might have hit the ceiling and you got to come back down. But you cracked the ceiling though, bro. So if you build it back up again, you'll keep going past that ceiling, bro. Trust me, I know, because this is the experiment. I'm the experiment. You know what I mean? Like, we go, you hit the mirror, you hit the wall, you hit the ceiling, you hit the floor. Okay, cool. Next time you come back, you know how hard it is. You're gonna be coming through forcefully, but it's already gonna be broke. You already bust the floor open. You already bust the ceiling open. You already got the proper tools and jewels now to be able to go and say, yo, I'm out here, bro. When you're losing, no. Free game Thursday. All in your area, yo. Everything's on YouTube now, so continue on. We'll be at you every week, and we'll continue to provide content. Y'all be good, all right? Peace.